Canvas, not this one, but this one, the HTML tag. The one behind modern games, animations, and data visualization. Now here's the kicker. Canvas might not have existed if it wasn't for Steve Jobs and the feud he started with Adobe Flash. Now let me give you the tea. So back in the early 2000s, Flash ruled the internet. Cartoons, animations, and even YouTube, they all ran on Adobe Flash. And Steve Jobs, he hated that for two reasons. First, Flash was a disaster on mobile. It drained the batteries, it overheated the CPUs, and touch didn't really exist. Like, it didn't really support touch screens. So the only thing you get is awkward hover menus. Second, Steve Jobs had history. Adobe prioritized Windows, which made the Mac lag behind, so Photoshop and Premiere updates, they came out a bit late and half-baked. So Steve Jobs never forgave them for that. So when the iPhone launched back in 2007, Adobe begged Apple to be on it. Apple tested it and it was awful. And by 2010, Steve Jobs had enough. He published Thoughts on Flash, which was a public breakup letter. Now, he called Flash insecure, a battery hog, and ironically, a closed system. Now, that's a bit rich coming from Apple. So yeah, anyways, moving on. It was brutal, but here's the genius. Steve Jobs didn't go about just like tearing down Flash. He had a replacement ready. Apple had built the Canvas API in-house back in 2004 for like Mac widgets. And it landed on Safari. Then slowly Firefox and Opera adopted it. And then it became a standard in HTML5, which it was ready. We're ready to replace Flash. Now, Adobe tried to fight back. They shoved Flash onto Android, but it was laggy and it chewed through the batteries. So by 2011, even Adobe gave up on Flash Mobile. Now the web moved on. Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, they all switched to HTML5, audio, video, and Canvas. And by 2020, Flash was officially dead. Now the question is, was it really about technology, or was Steve Jobs just settling an old score and reshaping the entire web in the process? Either way, it wasn't just drama, it was founder revenge fanfiction. And we are here for the tea.